I want to start off by saying that I am extremely grateful for all of the opportunities that I have had. Honestly, a lot of how everything has turned out, I think mostly has been luck, but I do kind of want to talk about this because there was a lot of people, at least quite a few months ago, who were claiming that I was an industry plant or something like that, which kind of doesn't make a lot of sense because I've been in the Minecraft community for way too many years to be an industry plant now. I actually don't know where people came up with that term, but let's just get into how I joined so many different SMPs, and I guess a little bit of a spoiler for an SMP that I'm in, and the videos aren't out yet, but maybe you saw it on the thumbnail. But yeah, let's just dive into this. So the first SMP that I actually want to talk about is Misadventures SMP, which it's been a little bit since I've made too much content on it, but this SMP is owned by LD Shadow Lady, and some people may be wondering, what the freak? Like, how did you get into that? Especially someone like me who's a little bit of a smaller YouTuber in comparison to a lot of the other people who were involved. And well, the truth of it is Lizzie invited me, the owner. But how did that happen? That's kind of what this video is going to be about. I'm just really going to give all the lore to everything. So with Lizzie for Misadventures, I actually have known Lizzie for a very long time. She actually commented on one of my videos like ages ago. I think it was literally like 2013 or 2014, like genuinely ages ago. And she like watched my videos back then, and we became friends because I was like, what the freak, LD Shadow Lady? All of my friends were freaking out saying, you know LD Shadow Lady? I was like, no, like she just commented in my video. But then eventually we became Twitter mutuals, and we started chatting, and I met her and Joel at PAX South, I think in 2016. So that was like genuinely, whoa, 10 years ago. It's actually crazy how time freaking flies. But yeah, we met each other ages ago, and I've been friends with Lizzie ever since. I don't think we really spoke too much throughout the many years of time, but eventually we kind of reconnected. There was a period of time where we played, I don't know, freaking Overwatch together and just like all these random things. And eventually, when I really got back into Minecraft content and all of that, we kind of reconvened. A few years ago, I actually visited the UK and I stayed at her house. And that is actually when she mentioned that she was working on a giant project, which eventually would become Misadventures. And we talked about it quite a bit. And eventually, when that actually came into fruition, she hit me up and I got invited. And it's super, super freaking cool. I know that, like, in terms of, like, if you're watching this video, in terms of, like, trying to get recommendations on how to join SMPs, I don't know if this is going to be too helpful. I'm just giving the absolute lore of everything here because, hey, maybe I don't have direct advice, but there might be a way for you to pick something up from this. And I don't know, maybe if you want to get involved in certain SMPs, you can eventually get to that point. But anyway, so that was Misadventures, and it was a really fun SMP. I haven't played it too much recently, but I've been hearing in the pipeline that we are cooking on reviving it pretty soon. So stay on the lookout for that. Now, the next SMP is one that actually a lot of people know how it kind of happened because I've talked about it a lot on stream, and there's a few like YouTube videos or shorts that I've talked about it in. But Steel SMP. So the short of it is I got invited through Hannah putting me on, like saying that we were gonna record a Wordle, like a Minecraft Wordle short, and then in reality the word was steel, and then everyone logged on. But how did this happen? What actually came up, or what happened leading up to this? Well, quite simply, I had actually gone to VidCon last year. Actually, I've never been to a VidCon, but I went to Anaheim last year, which was 2025, because I knew a lot of people were in town for VidCon, and I figured, I was like, shoot, I really want to see Hannah because I feel like I never really get to see her that much, and I knew that she was in Anaheim. I knew there were like plenty of other people, but that day in specific, I had an event in LA, and I live in San Diego, and Anaheim, it's right in the middle of, well, not right in the middle, but it's in between LA and San Diego. So after my event in LA, I'm starting to head down back to San Diego, and of course Anaheim is in the way. So I'm like, shoot, I kind of want to meet someone, and like, let me just hit up Hannah. Like, there were a lot of people, but I know Hannah is like just super awesome, so I wanted to see her. And I was like, hey Hannah, like, do you want to have dinner later tonight? I'm gonna be passing by down with my girlfriend, like, I hope we get to hang out, whatever. She responds, she's like, yeah dude, totally, let's do it. And as we're pulling up, Hannah sends an address, and she's like, there's a lot of people here, BTW. And I was like, what? Turns out she sent me the address of the freaking Airbnb that Lifesteal was staying at. And so I come in, and a bunch of people, first of all, are in the pool and the jacuzzi. So my first impression of a lot of Lifesteal guys are just shirtless men. Like, I did not know half of the people. Actually, I didn't know 90% of the people. The only people I knew there was Hannah, Sneeg, and Tubbo. Tubbo was also there hanging out. So I was like, hey, guys. And, like, Hannah was like, everyone say hello to JoJo. And then everyone was just like, hey. It was really funny. It was really cool, though. At that point in time, I had no idea who anybody was. But eventually, we did actually go to, like, a sushi restaurant. And so a bunch of people were, like, ordering their food. My girlfriend and I did not actually order any food because it was already getting late and we had to eventually drive home. But we kind of sat down, and, you know, it's funny because now looking back on it, I know who I was talking to now. But back then, I was just talking to some random people that I had no idea who they were. I didn't even know if they made YouTube content or if they streamed. And those people were freaking bacon waffles and Jaren. Like, oh my gosh, how embarrassing. Like, my girlfriend literally asked Jaren, so do you make YouTube content? So after getting that opportunity to meet a bunch of people and just kind of yap to everyone, I had a really good chat with Ash at one point. It was just a really good experience overall. Eventually, like a few days later, I actually messaged Hannah and I said, hey, Hannah, I've been seeing on Twitter that, like, the Steel SMP season just ended. I don't know if you guys are planning on doing another one. It sounds cool. Everyone I met was really nice and awesome. And I don't know. I'm just, like, really tapped into YouTube right now, so it sounds like a good time. And Hannah was like, OMG, I'll let you know in one day. I wait a day, and she never hit me up. And then I wait another day, and she didn't hit me up again. So in my mind, I was like, shoot, all right, GG. Like, I didn't get in. It's fine. Like, it's not like my life was depending on it, but, like, you know, it was something I was looking forward to. And then literally, like, 5 days later is when Hannah invited me to do a Wordle short. And I was like, yeah, bet, I'll do it. Like, I genuinely, for a good 5 minutes, I did not connect the dots. And then as soon as I guessed, I think it was Steam for the Wordle, which was one letter off from Steel, that's when I clocked it. And I was like, wait. And then I said Steel, and then everyone started joining, and it all made sense. And anyway, that's the lore behind Lifesteal and how I joined that. Obviously, I then later found out that when Hannah said, like, oh, give me a minute, like, that was the time frame that Lifesteal was having conversations about who to invite next. So I got really lucky that I kind of threw my hat in because, like, I wanted them to know that I was interested. I'm not really sure if they would have known otherwise, because I didn't really make too much, like, competitive Minecraft content at the time, because I was doing more Misadventures at the time. So I'm glad I did that. I don't think that for the sake of advice for you guys, I don't think it's always great to, like, message anyone about, like, wanting to join an SMP that's, like, you know, like, unless it's your friend, right? Like, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, don't hit up just, like, random people that don't know you or you don't know them to join their server unless you, like, know them or, like, know their mutuals and stuff like that. That's kind of my advice for that. Whew, okay, now Hermitcraft. Now I'm not in Hermitcraft. Let the record show, I'm not in Hermitcraft. I've only joined Hermitcraft 2 times, or I guess like 2 separate times. And that was for basically little events that they were doing. Actually, the first time it was because Impulse specifically asked me to log on to join to test his game mode, and it was a really fun time. I had so much fun. And then the second time was an invitational that they did to invite their friends. Like, each hermit got to invite one friend online, and it was a really cool time. We got like a whole world tour and everything. I think I've uploaded a video on my main channel of that, and it was really awesome. But the lore behind how that kind of unfolded, I think it was mostly luck, to be honest. Impulse, when he joined MCC, I actually, like, that was during my peak addiction time of MCC, of just wanting to play the Ace Race map that existed on the old practice server. And I was always online. So when Impulse joined and I saw he was brand new, I instantly was like, hey, let me know, like, if you need help with anything. Like, I love MCC, let me know. Of course, I say this to literally everyone who joins MCC, like, especially if I'm on at the time, like, on the server, then that's when I love to offer my services. I've been kind of slacking recently, but that's because I haven't been around the MCC scene that much. But at the time, it was freaking peak time. So when I saw a new face, I was like, hey, let me know if you need help with anything. And I say it's luck because, of course, Impulse made a game mode on Hermitcraft called Metro Mayhem. And so, of course, if I was very conveniently around when I was helping people train for MCC, especially for things like Ace Race, and Impulse then happens to make a game mode just like Ace Race called Metro Mayhem, then like he's gonna think of me when he thinks of Ace Race, which is, I'm very honored and very thankful for all of these different things. And I really don't know how to express how thankful I am for just how everything has unfolded. But yeah, I think I got very lucky in terms of this. And so because of that, I was able to get invited onto Hermitcraft to test out Metro Mayhem. And it was really cool. It was such a unique experience. And then being able to go back on when they had their friends and family day, it was just really cool. Like, again, I'm so freaking honored, so freaking awesome. But then that takes us to the next SMP. Surprise! I got invited to Naked and Afraid. That's right, my friends. You guys are going to be seeing a JoJo Solos perspective of Naked and Afraid on my main channel eventually. I actually don't know when we're uploading, but that has already been filmed and recorded, and it was a great time. I really enjoyed it. It was a challenge I've never done before, so it was just really cool. But in terms of how I got invited to that, I mean, I honestly think I just got kind of lucky that at this point, I've kind of like solidified my name in the community, or at least in like a few different communities. Like, I literally just got invited by Looney while I was in Japan. I was completely by myself in Japan, actually. I was in Japan with Lifesteal, but at this point in time, I was by myself. I was just shopping. I was already hanging out with a bunch of people, and then I was like, shoot, I really wanted to go to this one store. So I literally separated from everyone else. And then I just am in this store by myself, like really confused, by the way, because like, the stores out there can be a little bit confusing sometimes because they're very vertical. That you can totally hear more about that in a different commentary video that I've made. But the point is I'm just kind of like lost and kind of just like checking my phone to see how to get to a specific spot. And I get a freaking DM from Looney saying like, hey, do you want to join Naked and Afraid? And I was like, holy shoot, like this is so cool. Like, I obviously had known about it because of 4C and Rek and a few other people that I know. But, the fact that I was physically on a trip with a few of the people who are already in Naked and Afraid, like, I just got really excited. I actually didn't even mention it to any of them. I kind of wanted it to be a surprise, but then I did just tell Rek because we were just like talking later that day, and I was like, so I got invited to this. But yeah, in terms of like how this all kind of happened, I think, again, it was just kind of luck and just the fact that I have been around the Minecraft community for long enough that I have solidified my name, and I'm very thankful because it's just like a really cool opportunity, and I can guarantee you it's gonna be a really good time. Like, not to spoil anything, but like you guys should look forward to it. There's so many more SMPs that I want to talk about, and I'm really like struggling and going back and forth with like a lot of the different things that I want to talk about because obviously some of them they don't exist anymore for some particular reason or not. But the last one that I actually want to mention is actually an SMP that I had made, and it was TCG SMP. And it didn't really like get super huge or anything. It was mostly like a streamed only sort of SMP, but it was so much fun. And I'm honestly really proud of the way that I went about this because now I'm going to flip the script a little bit, right? I talked about how I joined so many SMPs. Now I'm going to talk about this SMP that I made and how I went about the invitations, because I don't know if any of you ever really saw the roster of people who were in TCG, but it was a wild variety of people. I mean, we had like the Speedy group and the Kara side of Minecraft, which is a little bit more variety. Obviously had Jordan as well, so a little bit more like variety people. But then I also had invited some more Minecraft people like Michaela and Ollie and Amy. But then I also went into a very different corner, which was Vintage Beef, because I knew that he loved TCGs, and I just figured like, shoot, like if I'm making an SMP of TCGs and I know this person loves it, like I'm gonna freaking go out of my way and invite this person. And of course, I got really lucky. He said yes. But then beyond that, I actually also invited some people that I knew were very into modded Minecraft. So like a Barry or like a H-Bomb. And I just made sure that I tried inviting as many people as possible from different corners of Minecraft. And it's really funny because when you see these sorts of people who are like from very different communities interact, it really just like goes to show that we're all just out here trying to have a good time. We're all just trying to have a freaking blast playing Minecraft, playing freaking video games. And I don't know, it was such a beautiful thing for me to see because I feel like I just watched some like friendships kind of like blossom. Like in particular, my friend Chosen Droid and Pionk just like actually hang out and talk like way after that. And it's just like so funny. Like, I don't know. Like, I think it was so cool seeing just these different communities and people who would maybe never interact because they're so like either very variety or very into like a certain niche of Minecraft. They might never interact. And then I freaking just put them in a server together and I said, speak to one another, do something. You know that meme where like it's like the stick figure kind of like poking a little blob with a stick saying do something? That was me. That was me. I was that person poking them saying do something. I don't know. It was an honor. It was really cool being an owner of an SMP. I may do it again. Maybe not. I don't know. Ooh, spoilers. I don't know. Let's just say that I'm in the talks. All right. But anyway, that is how I joined so many SMPs. There's obviously a story behind all the other SMPs that I didn't even mention. So I apologize if I didn't talk about all of them. I guess you can comment down below if you want to hear more of them. But the TLDR of everything is that I am extremely blessed. I am extremely, extremely thankful for the way that things have just unfolded in my life. It is actually bizarre how things sometimes just work out, or just like seeing the trickle down effect of like, you know, once things have happened and you like look back in hindsight, it is just so insane and beautiful. And anyway, yeah, that is all. Thank you guys for watching, and thank you guys for being a part of my story and just, you know, hopefully enjoying my perspective on all of these different SMPs.